Let's get perspective into this matter. The chairman of the group, Mr. Olanrewaju Suraj, joins us from our Abuja studio. Many thanks for coming on the program. Let's begin with some of these issues. The debate has been on severally over the past few days. The involvement of judges in some cases that have been allegedly involving monies, and how some cases people have paid for judgment. Those are the allegations on the table. But from your petitions, what is new that you are bringing now?
No, actually, there's really nothing new that we're bringing on board. What we're just doing is actually reminding the NJC of its own making towards the current situation where we had an intervention of our external forces in the name of the DSS to assist, and that is the way to put it, to actually assist the NJC in discharging its statutory and constitutional responsibility. Those petitions referred to were not just written. Some of them were written as far back as 2013 when we launched what we called the Judicial Integrity and Access to Justice. And then we had reasons to write to NJC and said, look, I mean, there's a whole lot of complaints about corruption in the judiciary, and the NJC, under the Chief Justice of Nigeria, then Honorable Justice Aloma Mukhtar, that there's a need to actually deal with quite a whole number of allegations of corruption in the judiciary. And in fairness to her, she also took the pain to warn judges against corruption. She spoke at several fora of the readiness of the NJC under her leadership to rid the judiciary of bad eggs within the system. Unfortunately, I could only just assume that she got overwhelmed, and we wrote quite a whole number of petitions against some of those judges to the NJC. I can actually remember that one of them was queried. That was Justice Gumi, who was the former CJ, Chief Justice of the Federal High Court in Abuja. It's FCT High Court. But unfortunately, that also never saw the light of the day. But then you can remember that a host of judges were unfortunately removed from the bench by the NJC for the same similar infraction. The fact that judges were retired from the bench was enough reason for NJC to have actually declared an emergency in the judiciary to the extent that judges would then buckle up without compromising their oath of office, and then also the trust of the people and integrity of the judiciary.
Mr. Suraj,
unfortunately, the NJC woefully failed to discharge that constitutional
Mr. Suraj, from some of the petitions, part of the letter that you wrote to the NJC, which a copy of I have here with me, you've highlighted about 10 cases here where you brought up, and it looks to me that the summary of your petition or your letter to the NJC is clearly stated that the NJC is just mouthing the anti-corruption war within its own rank. It's not just fighting it, and it's just doing lip service to it. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, exactly. That is the point. And that is also what Nigerians know. I mean, judges are accused of corruption. Judges are dismissed on the basis of corruption. And then NJC will just say, you are not even dismissed, retired from the bench. So it means you retire with the proceeds of the crime of the corruption. And then you also still get your retirement benefit. So there's actually not really any serious and genuine commitment on the part of the NJC to actually dealing with the issue of corruption in the judiciary. And that is what emboldens the judges to also engage in all forms of infraction. And that is why judges are also not respected. And that is why you could see several judgments, conflicting judgments from courts of coordinate jurisdiction, or even the effrontery of courts, departing from the decisions of appellate courts. So it was almost becoming a very pathetic state within the judicial system, which is supposed to be actually the arm of government with the highest possible impeccable integrity. And that also is eroding not only the trust in the judiciary, but even our own democracy. So you find politicians who will do everything to just win election at the polls, including killing and maiming, with the clear mindset that all it's going to take is to find a pliable judge, bribe such a judge, and then you get your mandate legitimized in court. Stolen mandate for that. So at the end of the day, it's now a contest not for the people's vote, but the contest for just
all right. If I may quickly just ask you, Mr. Suraj, with all of these that you've highlighted, one would be wondering why you're coming up with this petition. Some of those who said, well, you've done that since 2013. But this time around, we've seen a case where the NJC has actually come out to say 2, 3, 4 of the judges within our ranks have been punished and being looked into some of the activities. But again, that is not satisfying to you and your group.
No, precisely. I mean, it's just stating the fact. This is just, I mean, NJC is putting out a defense. Unfortunately, for the action of the or the DSS against the DSS, and we need to also remind the NJC that if genuinely and truly the NJC is committed to actually reading the judicial system and the Nigerian bench of corrupt elements, it is not for the NJC to have risen in that form of defense of the judges. The first thing would have been to even investigate allegations against those judges. That is number one. Number two, just defending and saying, oh yes, we've been removing and dealing with allegations of corruption in the judiciary. No, that is untrue, except for the one we had about 3 weeks ago, or about 4 weeks ago, where one of the judges was dismissed and then also referred to the police for prosecution. Many of the judges were simply dismissed.
Don't you think that actually looked like a new dawn? Perhaps we have a born-again NJC, if you permit me to use that word there.
No, yeah, that is the thing. So that is why we need to encourage, that is why we need to assist the NJC. We've had reasons where NJC, in the case of Justice M.N. Yunusa, it was as a result of the petition we wrote to NJC, and that is one out of about 15 other petitions, and including nothing less than about 30 judges and also officers of the bench. And we assisted NJC to provide evidence and say, no, this is not a character that should adjudicate over matters in the judicial system.
Well, as we bring home our on this conversation, a lot of people have criticized the role of the DSS, the manner in which they went about raiding those judges, perhaps no respect whatsoever to the caliber of persons they are in the society. Do you think that narrative is well placed or properly placed?
No, it is the most unfortunate thing that the ruling, the elites would actually also insult the integrity of the ordinary people. In terms of crimes, there is no high-profile person. The law is a respecter of nobody, so you don't want to talk about the caliber of person. A criminal is a criminal. Once someone is actually convicted, there's nothing to say the caliber of the person. And a suspect is also a suspect. It is not also right to freely put an handcuff in the hands of a suspected person who is not of high caliber, and then you don't want to put the same handcuff in the hands of a high-profile person. No, I mean, the law actually does not place any premium on person, especially when it comes to crime. And I think NJC, the NBA, actually was probably misinformed before it had that press conference which you showed, because unfortunately there was no law that was actually referenced as violated by the DSS. There's no law that says the DSS cannot even arrest anybody. There's no law that says the houses of the judges cannot be searched, especially when you have a valid search warrant. And there's no law that says a judge cannot be arrested with a valid arrest warrant. But I should also avert our mind to the fact that imagine if it were just two officers that went to Port Harcourt in an attempt to search the house of Justice Lehman, and you had the same similar experience of where you had Governor Wiki intervened with what you saw on the TV, some policemen and then also some other characters who are hooded. You can't predict what would have happened.
Okay.
So there's a need for...
we need to leave it at that, Mr. Olanrewaju Suraj, because of our time. Many thanks for coming on the program. We really appreciate your time. That's our program tonight. Many thanks for being part of it. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye for now.